If you're thinking about selling your home this fall or winter, buyers act differently when the weather turns. Yes, they are more serious, but they make more mistakes that could cost you money, waste your time, or even kill the sale. So today I'm gonna be going over the 7 biggest buyer mistakes that I see during the colder months and how you can protect yourself from them. What's up guys? Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, your local expert right here in Northeast Ohio. And if you want a strategic approach and be prepared, I have a buyer's and a seller's guide that'll walk you through step by step through the whole process from start to close. Just comment down below. I'll happily get that over to you. Or if you're ready to take action, even if it's this coming spring, contact me directly here because I have people just like you reaching out to me every single week to help them get a strategic approach to the market itself and get fully prepared and ready to go. So the first thing that we need to discuss is there not being a pre-approval. Plain and simple, you don't want to end up wasting your time with a buyer who's not pre-approved, where you get 3 weeks into it and come to find out that they can't even get the pre-approval letter for the house. So this is non-negotiable. You can protect yourself by saying flat out to your agent, I want to see nothing but pre-approved offers. Because the offers, they're gonna be less. The showings, it's gonna be less. So you wanna make sure that whoever does put an offer in, they are financially capable and ready to purchase your home. Number 2 on the list is the holiday spending that is coming up that every one of us end up doing. Buyers will go under contract and then they either purchase a car because they see a great deal, or they open up credit cards because they want to afford the gifts and they see that, same as cash that is on there, or they even miss a payment. Suddenly their financing falls apart and the deal is completely dead. That is not a good feeling. I have witnessed it happen. The key here is making sure that buyers understand up front exactly what they need to be doing and not doing from the time you go under contract to the time it closes. And a good agent is going to stay in touch either with that buyer's lender or with the buyer's agent to make sure everything is moving smoothly. Because let's face it, people make mistakes, it happens, but it's our job to end up ensuring that this doesn't happen. Number 3, I see this happen all the time. It's just lowball offers that are coming in because buyers simply feel just because you are selling your home during the colder months means that you're completely desperate, when that's not always the case. A lot of times it's just because it's time for you to sell. Now, homes that are marketed properly, they're priced right, they still sell strong, no matter what time of year it is. That has nothing to do with it. So sellers should stay focused on presenting their property at its best. So buyers know that they can't come in with a lowball offer. And I hear it all the time, like, why is the seller, moving right now? It's cold out, it's winter. There's no reason to panic, but for whatever reason, buyers do feel that they can completely lowball you. And I'm not talking like, $5,000-$10,000 under. I'm talking they think they can get away with $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 under just because you need to sell, when that's not always the case. 4th on the list is the inspection games. Let's face it, the colder months, the furnace issue pops up big all the time. And it's always at the most inconvenient time, especially like late at night or on the weekend. I'm sure you have had, or one of you have ended up having, the furnace just take a crap in the middle of the night, and then you have an emergency call when it's like 10 degrees outside. It's no fun. There's roofs that get under snow, and some of these buyers, they're waiving inspections, which that may end up seeming like a great thing for you, simply because the buyer just wants to win a deal if there's a couple different offers on it. And the problem with that is that it's not necessarily great that they are skipping the inspection, because a lot of times they end up getting cold feet later on because they're wondering and they have other people talking to them in their ear, and it makes them wonder, what is really wrong with the house? Is there something wrong with the house? So then they completely back out of the deal. You actually want a buyer to do the inspection. And there's even times that I advise my sellers to end up doing a pre-listing inspection. So you already know what's going on, especially if you're planning, say, a few weeks from the day that you sit down with an agent. Getting an inspection, a couple days, you can end up having an inspector at your house checking it out. And what if those few weeks there is that snowfall that covers it up? Try to plan ahead and get ahead of the game. Or you make sure that the buyers end up doing it, because ultimately the best way of handling the whole situation is just setting the expectations up front and understanding, what's worth negotiating versus what's not. And even if you don't get that pre-inspection, just kind of have it in mind. There may be mold in the attic. There may be, a bad furnace. There could be roof issues. You just never know what's going to come about, especially in the colder months. There's more stuff that ends up showing, and buyers tend to be way more nitpicky in those colder months, especially for something like a drafty window, for instance. And speaking of those drafty windows, it leads me right into the next mistake, that is just seasonal home concerns. And the buyers, they sometimes overreact with the higher heating bills. They automatically assume, it may not be insulated well, or the windows may need to be replaced, when it could just be because it's simply 5 degrees outside. It's Northeast Ohio. Or, the bare landscaping that they see. The driveway, they're not capable of seeing the driveway. Maybe it has, ice buildup or like snow that's built up during the winter. The roof is covered. They can't see the roof. So some of these buyers have these big concerns, and it's one of the things that they try to end up negotiating then and getting you to come down on price for something that may not necessarily be there. So the way that some of the sellers end up preparing for this is by showcasing the home's strengths that they have year round. And, things like the energy efficiency. So if you do have new windows, showcase that. That should be stuff that's presented. The new HVAC system. Even if you have like summer photos of your backyard. Yes, professional photography every single time. Professional photography. Get it every single time. However, if it is in the winter months and you have like a gorgeous backyard and just gorgeous landscaping, that is a situation where it's like, I get 50 pictures to put onto the MLS. I'll take those pictures and put them on there simply to let the buyer see this is what the house looks like in the nicer months out of the year. And that completely changes their thought process and how they go about putting an offer on your house. Now, number 6 is one that a lot of people really don't think about. And there's a lot of agents that don't even really think about this either. And it's the holiday distractions that are going on. So you got travel, you have family events, you got bad weather. The list can go on. Buyers will sometimes drag their feet when it comes to getting the inspections done, signing any type of paperwork, even during the closing process. They tend to drag their feet just because a lot of people are in, holiday mode. More so when like Thanksgiving, Christmas starts coming around. You're going 50 different directions. They're going 50 different directions. But it is common for buyers to tend to drag their feet on a lot of the paperwork and the whole process itself. And you as a seller can end up avoiding this with an agent that keeps an eye on all of this stuff. The schedule in its totality, keeping up with title, and even if title reaches out and said they can't get a hold of, said buyer, my next phone call is to the buyer's agent going, what is going on? I will drop everything right then and there. And just having this all in place, it just moves the whole process along, moves it smoothly, hits the deadlines, and gets everything done, gets the deal done and on time. So then you're not having to either extend or potentially even lose out on the deal itself. Now, number 7 can happen throughout the whole year, but it's more relevant during the holiday season. It's bad advice. And what's happening is you got like Uncle Joe sitting at the table for, say, Thanksgiving, and just, spitting out, oh, well, I bought a house like this 20 years ago. It was never like this. You should do XYZ. Or, their friends are speaking up, or the random Facebook groups that they're posting in or that they see. Buyers are sitting there looking at different stuff because they are not necessarily getting complete clarity on the situation. And that even goes for the buyers that even have the agents. They don't always have clarity on stuff. They are confused. They're looking for answers. So they're listening to multiple people instead of directly going to their agent because it's during the holiday seasons. It's during the colder months. I've had my clients as a buyer's agent where they're saying, I'm sorry to bother you. It's never a bother. This is our job. We represent you, whether you're buyer or seller. So they're hearing this information that may not necessarily be true. And a lot of times it's not true because there's a ton of people that have purchased years ago. The market is completely different. So the way they purchase stuff in reality does not match to what the new, market is. It can shift, it can change. It has drastically changed in the past, 5-6 years compared to what it was. So this is why sellers will benefit from having one trusted voice in the room. This is why buyers benefit from having one trusted voice in the room. If you have an agent representing you, that agent is your trusted voice. We are doing this stuff on a daily basis. And it's someone who, knows the market and also knows how to keep the negotiations grounded and keep everything moving slowly. So yes, fall and winter, buyers are going to look to negotiate. There's going to be less buyers, just like there's going to be less sellers. But it also creates more mistakes that will lead to real headaches for you sellers. But if you are thinking about selling during the fall and winter, like I said, I have a seller's guide. I'm happy to get it over to you. Or if you're more ready to take action and pull that trigger, I got people just like you reaching out to me every single week. Contact me directly here and we can get a strategic approach to your specific situation. And also, if you got any value from the video, be sure to smash the like button. It's greatly appreciated. And if you're new to my channel or you have not done it yet, be sure to click subscribe, turn notifications on so you can stay up to date on my future videos I got coming your way.